Hello everybody and welcome back to a brand new episode of NASCAR Heat 4 Career Mode. I hope you're all having a great day. Today we go to Kansas in the Cup Series. No Xfinity race for this one, so we come straight into our qualifying effort here. The goal was a 30.951 out of turn 4. We went down this front straightaway, cutting down under the line towards the grass. We'd cross the line with a 30.927, barely beating the goal and actually going P10, so a very strong qualifying effort it was for us here today in Kansas. And on the pole, it was Denny Hamlin.
Good evening, race fans. This is Rick Allen. Tonight we're at Kansas Speedway for the KC Digital Ally 400. We're about a third of the way through the season. Who will make their way to victory lane and cement a spot in this year's playoffs? Let's head down to the track and find out.
Thank you, Rick Allen. We're ready to go green here with the Digital Ally 400 at Kansas Speedway. Corey LaJoie has some speed today. He's been battling for that last spot in the playoffs fairly well this season, so we might have to look out for him all the way down towards the playoffs, which would be very surprising to see LaJoie be able to contend for a playoff spot, but he is doing a very solid job this season, and we'll see what he can do tonight here at Kansas Speedway as we get ready to go from P10 as Denny Hamlin and Eric Jones lead the way as the green flag is that William Byron on our inside in the number 24 Hendrick Motorsports Chevrolet as we go down towards turn 1 for this first and opening lap. Behind us, it's Truex and Corey LaJoie right there behind us, so we know that LaJoie is clearly coming into this race with a little bit of speed now, as we actually got into it there with our teammate Kevin Harvick, as I believe he tried to go up the middle, and unfortunately he lost out on that little bit of a battle now as we go down towards turn 3. As you guys know, Kansas is a track you can really make that top work, and you also know that I love to run the top at any track that I can, so sure enough, you're going to see me running up towards the wall most of this race now as we come down this front straightaway, completing this first and opening lap. Denny Hamlin leads the way as we go down into the corner, so obviously I'm just going to stay all the way up here, not too close to the wall yet. We don't want to get too risky now as we're trying to carry the momentum through the center of the corner and make it 3 wide on the exit of turn 2 with Keselowski and William Byron in the 24 now as we go down towards turn 3. It's Jones and Kyle Busch battling side by side. Jones started in the second position, but clearly he is dropping a little bit now as we go down this run straightaway. Larson in the mix as well, and as we would come through on lap 3, we had also climbed up to pass Kyle Larson for P6, and then unfortunately Alex Bowman had actually gotten to us and blown right on past us. Alex Bowman has been on fire lately in our career mode, and sure enough, he would blow past me and take over P6 as we had now dropped down to the 7th position, as he would also be passing the 20 of Eric Jones, and then me and Jones would both lose a little bit of time, but we would get battling with each other here as we came to lap 8 now. So definitely at this point we were faster than the 20 of Jones, but now Keselowski, he was getting into the mix behind us as you see him now closing in, putting on the pressure now as we go down this back straightaway, just trying to get past this 20, but Jones was putting up a pretty good fight as we went down this back straightaway towards turns 3, and then you see Keselowski just continuing to close in through the center of the corner, but finally we would be able to get past Jones as we came out of turn 4 just for the moment there as we would come down this front straightaway, just barely clearing him at the line, so we would drive away from him just a little bit now as we came through on lap 15, actually getting into the outside wall as Kevin Harvick had got back to us, and then Jones and Keselowski all putting the pressure on as we went down towards turns 1 now as we have a little bit of damage, and the tire icon is on as well, so we were now down to 20% on that tire as we came through on the right rear tire as we came out of turn 2. So starting to fall in the later moments of this first stage as we go down the back straightaway, we would actually end up getting a caution here in the first stage, which obviously would end the stage a few laps early. Kurt Busch gets the stage victory. Jimmy Johnson up there in P9 as it's actually Kyle Busch who brought out the caution as you saw him there crashing as we get involved. After the caution, we would pit for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires, but you know what happens when we hit a car after the caution comes out. That right there, we get a terrible restart here to start the second stage, and obviously I'm just going to pull to the inside and get out of everyone's way. Now we know when it's coming, so we can actually have a chance to just get out of the way as Jimmy Johnson, Chris Busch, or Martin Truex Jr. go by. So Kyle Busch got win number 5 of the season in the last episode, but obviously they're here tonight. That's going to come to an end. No chance for win number 6 on at least today's race for Kyle Busch, as unfortunately for him, he must have blown a tire or something as we go down towards turn 3. Terrible restart puts us down in the 16th position as Kurt Busch leads the way now as we obviously use this momentum though on the outside to a massive advantage on our part now as we start to at least try to make up all the time that we lost on that restart. Now let's go down towards turns 1 is Clint Boyer and Corey LaJoy running P12 and P13. Chris Buescher up there in the mix. Buescher has been showing a little bit of speed here recently in the career mode, but we know that he's really not going to be much of a playoff contender. We would pass him and Boyers came to lap 3 of the stage, now up to P11, putting on the pressure against Kyle Larson as we go down into the corner. Kurt Busch, though, continuing to lead as Alex Bowman and Hamlin were battling for P2. Up ahead, you see Jimmy Johnson up into the 8th position at this point. So Johnson showing some speed here for really the first time this season, I think, now, as we come through at this point on lap 7 of the stage, battling now with Eric Jones and Ryan Blaney. So we've continued to move our way forwards as we went down towards the corner, just trying to clear the 20 of Jones. We do clear him into the corner there, as you see Johnson running now up in P6. So he is just continuing to move forwards at this point. Now, as we came through though on lap 8, he'd still been battling with Brad Keselowski, and then we got Ryan Blaney there on the inside. Jones just behind us as we run P9. Gonna get to the outside of Blaney, not much of a gap, but we managed to make it work as we went down towards turns 3 and towards turns 4 as Keselowski's putting the pressure on Johnson, but it doesn't matter because the caution has come out here now in this second stage. So obviously no one was pitting, so I decided we're going to stay out as well. So we get right back into the action here in Kansas. Kurt Busch continues to lead. He has had a very fast car today. He's another driver that's been up front this season, contending for victories, but he just hasn't quite been able to pull it off. Obviously, he was a part of that thrilling race in Las Vegas where he actually blew a tire in that Las Vegas race, and then he managed to fight his way back to nearly win that one, but Kyle Busch obviously ended up winning at the end of that. Now as we come through on this back straightaway behind the 48 of Jimmy Johnson, as we go down into the third turn, there you see Alex Bowman putting the pressure against Hamlin. So they've been battling it out quite a bit as Kurt Busch, the leader, actually moved up to the top lane, and that allows Hamlin to try and get to his inside as we come through to cross the line. So P8 as we cross the line with 9 laps to go here in the second stage. Kurt Busch continuing to run that middle to higher lane, and it just seems like it doesn't even matter where Kurt Busch goes right now. He definitely seems to have a lot of speed as we come down this back straightaway. Johnson trying to get to the inside of the 22 of Logano, and now we're going to try and maybe make it 3 wide between the 22 and the 48. Those two drivers have, 9 championships combined, because if you remember, Joey Logano is a 2-time champion because he won the championship in our career mode last season. Now as we come through out of turn 4, Logano probably shouldn't have won the championship, but now the caution actually comes out here now late in the second stage, and Hamlin, he's leading at this point. We would have to come to the pit lane for 2 cans of fuel, 4 tires. We lose 1 spot and get ready to restart in P9. Now as the green flag is back out, and it's going to leave us 3 laps to go here in this second stage. So obviously going to have to be really aggressive here in the final few laps to get whatever we can get now, as we got Johnson, Kurt Busch all up on that top lane. Alex Bowman leads that top lane, and it's been a very poor restart for the Hendrick Motorsports driver. Kurt Busch, who was showing so much speed, all of a sudden finds himself towards the back part of the top 5. Now as we make it 3 wide, though, with Keselowski and Johnson. As going to turn 3, it's actually Parker Kligerman leading the way through the center of the corner. A little bit of a stack up in front of us from the 4 and the 11 is obviously Kligerman. When he was in the way, we would get past him, and then Johnson, he would climb all the way to P3 as we were now battling with Harvick and Logano as we came out of turn 4, approaching the final lap in the stage. At this point, Alex Bowman had taken command as we start this final lap here in the second stage. So Alex Bowman continuing to just be up there, battling for stage victories as we come through turns 1. Logano behind us, battling with his Penske Racing teammate of Ryan Blaney. Now as we go down this back straightaway for the final time here in stage 2. Johnson up in P3 under pressure from Kevin Harvick as we come down through the final corner, back up to that top lane, thankfully now where we are more comfortable now. As Alex Bowman, though, comes at the turns 4 in front of Kurt Busch, and Alex Bowman is going to win the second stage here in Kansas. So he continues to just show a lot of potential now, as he is clearly the best Hendrick Motorsports driver right now this season in our career mode. Obviously another playoff point for him. I believe that's like his 3rd or 4th stage win at this point now, as we would obviously stay out at the end of the stage and get ready to go green for the 3rd and final stage from P5. So now we're ready to go green. 2 Hendrick cars on the inside for those first 2 rows as the green flag is out, and the 3rd and final stage is underway here in Kansas. Not a lot of time, only 25 laps to go here at the Speedway as we go down towards turns 1 on the inside of our teammate of Kevin Harvick. Johnson trying to put the pressure on Bowman for the lead. I don't think I've ever seen Jimmie Johnson out front here in the NASCAR Heat 4 career mode. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure we haven't seen him lead a single race in this career mode now as we go down into turn 3, and it doesn't quite look like he might have the speed to actually lead here today in Kansas, because Bowman is starting to put a very small gap on that 48 as we exit turn 4, heading down the front straightaway, coming through to complete this opening lap of stage 3. Now is going to go for a quick crank it up here in Kansas.
Still there? Stay high up here. Inside. Stay high up there. Stay high up there. Careful, still there.
All right, there was your crank it up. Haven't done one of those in a little bit, but obviously we bring it back here today as Jimmie Johnson. He had continued to run P2 through that whole crank it up, but he would actually start to drop now as we came through on lap 49. He had dropped down to P5. Bowman continued to lead at this point. Logano had climbed to second. Kurt Busch still P3. I think Kurt Busch has overall been the best car today's race in terms of this kind of consistency of running up towards the front of the pack. Now as it came through on lap 54, now down in P7, battling for P6 with Johnson, who was starting to fall down the orders. At this point I decided we're actually going to make a very interesting strategy call. Green flag pit stops were right around the corner. I decided we're going to come in a few laps early to see what we can do here. We have 2 wins on the season. I decided, okay, well maybe we can actually get out in front of a few cars, so I decided 1 can of fuel and 2 right side tires would be the call, and it was an 8-second estimated pit stop, and I figured the AI would take 2 tires as well, considering the laps left, as I've started to get used to the pit strategy on how the AI are going to deal with it. So we'd come out here on P37, but sure enough, the AI started to make the way around into the pit lane within the next lap to 2, and as we came through on lap 58, everyone had come through at this point. Now as it came through down towards turns 1, there you see Alex Bowman leading that pack on the apron. We made the call to come in a lap early, and it's going to be a big difference, because as we exit turn 2, we're going to go through to take the lead. We go from what, P7 or 8 to now the provisional leader once everyone cycles through. So that's how much of a difference a lap can make. We shouldn't even be anywhere up towards the lead right now, but here we are now with less than 10 laps to go at this point, leading the race. But Bowman, he had run me back down. He had so much speed in that 88 car as we went down this back straightaway, as obviously I'm trying to compete with him the best I can, but I just didn't quite have enough speed for that 88 as he would clear me into turns 3 and throughout turns 4. So now Alex Bowman trying to hang on to victory, but there you see behind us, Kurt Busch had been closing the gap since the pit stops, and as we came through on lap 62 now, Kurt Busch had gotten even closer. He had looked to my inside, and I wanted Alex Bowman to win pretty bad, so I decided, you know what, I'm going to actually battle Kurt Busch here as much as I can as we go down this back straightaway. We're going to look to the inside of him. We haven't been on the inside lane in quite some time now as we dive it in through turns 3 and turns 4 side by side with the 1. At least race them hard, but not too dirty. We don't make any contact. Certainly got close, but at the turns 4, we're going to try and side draft the 1 of Kurt Busch, trying to help Bowman the most I can. But Kurt Busch gets clear and sets his sights on the 88 of Bowman with 5 to go. And as we came through with now 4 to go, approaching lap traffic, actually Bowman had gotten stuck behind a few cars as we hit 3 to go, and Kurt Busch would be able to get to the inside of Alex Bowman as we were approaching just 2 laps to go. So Alex Bowman might blow a victory here in Kansas now as we hit 2 laps to go at the speedway, but the caution comes out with Alex Bowman just barely leading as this is going to force overtime. The tire icon was on for the left side. I decided we have 2 wins. We're going for it here on this restart. We would come to the pit lane maybe to be safe, but no, we're going for it with 2 wins. Even the fuel is less than what we need, but with the caution, we should be good on fuel. We should actually barely have enough fuel, but I decided to risk it. 4% on the left rear. So the chances of us making it here, not the greatest, but we're, like I said, we got 2 wins. We're going for it here tonight in Kansas, looking for our first ever win at this racetrack, and I think any NASCAR Heat game now, as the green flag is out and overtime is underway. Bowman and Kurt Busch on the front. Well, we have a great launch, and we're going to look to the inside of Bowman and make it 3 wide for the lead as we go down into turns 1 and turns 2. We clear the 88 of Alex Bowman and the 1 of Kurt Busch. Bowman 3 wide in the middle. Not a good restart for him.
Car high.
He's had some very poor restarts with very good cars in the last few episodes, but Logano gets to my inside as we go down the back straightaway. We know we can contend with Logano, so if we just play it safe and run the top line, we might have the momentum going down this front straightaway, but Bowman has found his way back to my inside. Alex Bowman has a ton of speed again. As we go down this front straightaway, he gets past Kurt Busch. We know he has the fastest car probably right now as we start this final lap here at Kansas Speedway. Right behind Joey Logano as we go down into turns 1 and 2 for the final time. Bowman gets to the inside of Logano and then the left rear tire blows out and into the outside while we go on this final lap here in Kansas, and the caution will fly as we lose a tire, and that will end the race in Kansas. And I can confirm Alex Bowman had edged Logano out by just a few fractions probably of a second, and he would win this race here in Kansas there. As I gave it everything, I decided we might as well just go for it. Like I said, we had 2 wins on the season, and I was just wanting to see what we could do. Unfortunately, the tire blew out in turns 1, and we obviously lost the car. We still got P11 as a caution came out at a good time for us, so we didn't lose too much positions. But now second in the points after that one, and so close here today in Kansas. I said we have 2 wins, so I went for it. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for us at the end of that race.
Things haven't been going your way lately, but if you keep working hard, you can turn it around. Put in the work and you'll get the results.
Thank you, Alex Bowen, who just came off of his first win of the season. Obviously, we had back-to-back wins at Bristol and a surprise win at Richmond. I still don't know how we managed to pull that one off. But now we've had 2 races in a row where we haven't gotten to top 10. So 2 wins and no. Then we go 2 races without a top 10. So, unfortunate. But as always, if you guys did enjoy this episode, make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. Those would all be very appreciated. I hope you guys at least appreciated me risking it there on the tires. At the end, like I said, I could have came to the pit lane and played it safe, as I figured we weren't going to make it. But like I said, I wanted to take the chance and see what would happen. And it didn't quite work out for us at the end of that race. But in the next one, we are starting the Coca-Cola 600, the double. So we're going to be at Monaco and the Coca-Cola 600. I'll show basically more of a recap of what happened with F1 so you guys don't get overloaded with that. But I will see you guys in the next one. So thank you everybody for watching and have yourselves a great day.